Give yourself the chance to execute everything that it is that we see ourselves doing. Hi, my name is Senia. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about what we should be focusing on in our 20s to make sure that we are building our confidence and setting ourselves up for the future. So let's jump right into it. I'm currently 27, so I have been in this decade for a while. I've learned so much about things that I wish I would have done in my younger 20s and things I want to make sure that I'm staying on top of so that I am setting myself up for my 30s. The first thing that we should be focusing on in our 20s, what do we want our 30s to look like? We all have different goals, different journeys, different paths. To really zone in on what we want our 30s to look like, we have to take a step back and visualize what it is we see ourselves doing when we're 30. That could be climbing the corporate ladder, or starting your own business. So for example, if your goal is to have your own business by the time you're 30, we need to start thinking about what we should be doing in our 20s to set us up for that. That could either be actually starting the business, that could be researching the business, what industry we want to be in, what companies do we want to work for. To think about these things. Direction is key for our 20s. Once you have that vision, give yourself the chance to execute everything that it is that we see ourselves doing. Our 20s is not for us to have it all figured out. It is for us to grow and see what it is that we like, execute our dreams, and really start our lives. The second thing I want to move on to are relationships. By this time, if you went away for college, you might have childhood friends, people that you met through jobs, and this might be your immediate circle right now. But you really have to realize once you've had a vision of what your 30s look like, you have to think about who you're surrounding yourself with. Are you surrounding yourself with people who you encourage each other and they make you feel like you can conquer these things? Are you surrounding yourself with people who don't really have as much ambition, or maybe they're a little lost right now and they're not actually even trying to get out of that? Then you really want to take a step back, see, okay, like, is this relationship going to serve me at this point in my life? And that could always be a very difficult thing because we obviously love the people that we're close to, but we really have to be a little selfish when it comes to who am I surrounding myself with, and is that serving me in the long run to be able to grow? Is it help pushing me forward, or is it holding me back? So that's something that you have to ask yourself. And if you feel like your energy is a little drained, or if you feel like you are not seeing eye to eye with a certain person in your life, or maybe even multiple people in your life, this is probably a sign for you to take a step back. There's a shift happening in this relationship. I really need to see if this is going to be something that can work for me at this moment in my life. On the other end of relationships, you also want to surround yourself with people who have either accomplished what you want to accomplish, or on their way to accomplishing, people who can give you the tools to be able to accomplish what it is that you want. Especially with us being young in our 20s, we're all at these different times in our lives, and sometimes the best thing that we have at the moment could be podcasts, it could be motivational videos on YouTube. We have so many resources to access people who have achieved so many great things. You can read this in books. There's so many ways to actually be able to soak up the knowledge that people have to share with you all over the world who have accomplished great things. The next thing I want to share with you is health and wellness. Health is wealth, okay? I have always been told this growing up, and it really does so much for you to actually take care of our bodies. Let's make sure that we are staying fit, whether that's going on walks, but strength training, our bones. It doesn't have to be anything super taxing on our bodies, but let's make sure that we're staying fit at least a couple of times a week. We need to prioritize these things. So it's not even if you can fit it in, it's how will you fit it in, because our health is really what's gonna drive and keep us going. It's good for our minds, it's good for our bodies, and of course it's good for our souls. We also want to make sure that we are eating really good foods for ourselves. That's also a big thing in our 20s. We really feel like we're invincible and we can just eat whatever it is that we want to eat. We want to make sure that we're putting the best foods in our body to make sure that our minds are working well, our bodies won't give out on us, and that we can really just actually be good people and do great things. If you do feel like you have a certain deficiency in a vitamin, do the research. Go to the doctor, go to a nutritionist, see are there certain supplements that I should be taking to make sure that I have longevity in my body, and that will actually just make you feel so much better. There are so many good natural ways to take care of yourself, and it sounds like you're putting up a lot of money on the forefront, but when you think about it in your later years, you'll actually be saving more money. The last thing I want to share today is changing our perspective. So I know with us and our generation, it's not as easy as the generations before because things are just easier, okay? And we know that. And now it's a time to where some of us can't only just go to college and that's it. We also have jobs. And it's very easy to be discouraged when you feel like you just can't catch a break. And it's so easy to kind of have an attitude about it. I know I am definitely recovering attitude haver. When I feel like I am being lowballed, whether that's in work or in relationships or something. But we all have to change our perspective on how we feel about that, because at the end of the day, we cannot let these things live rent-free in our head. We have to get ourselves out of that perspective of being a victim and get our mindset on being our own heroes and figuring out what it is that we can do for ourselves to change the situation, get out of the situation, and be able to move on. We need to learn that sometimes we are going to get rejected. We have to know that rejection is just redirection. Always say that to yourself every time that you feel like you just can't catch a break. Also, another thing that I always say to myself when I feel like I can't catch a break is things aren't happening to me, they're happening for me. Those two things will actually just really get you through a lot, because then you will know that you always have the power to move on and pick the best avenue for you to get to where you need to go, because at the end of the day, these years are our prime years to be able to really grind it out. That is all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.